Good morning to you. 5 o'clock on the East Coast, July the 13th, Monday. Hope you had an outstanding weekend, but now it's time to grind it and get to work. So, Brandon Hardison, president of Champion Strategies, with today's Hardison's tip. So, let's get to it and unpack it. I entitled this one, You Are Smarter Than What You Think You Are. Now, how much do you trust yourself? Do you trust your own judgment? Do you trust in, believed in, act in your own way of intuition? Because male and females have this thing called intuition. I can remember the moment when I started trusting myself. One day it suddenly occurred to me that every deal that I have ever got signed or every deal that I had lost, I knew within the first one or two sales calls what would be the outcome. And I call this intuition. You can call it gut feeling, whatever you want. I sometimes use that phrase too. But this was an important moment for me, important because I realized that I could and should trust my own judgment about deals because I'm with the guest than anyone else. I reached the point around 5 years into my selling career, which was way back a few decades ago. It was a freeing revelation because I knew that I could put my faith in my gut intuition than in what my sales management might want me to do. I stopped trying to convince myself that I could close every deal. I stopped trying to use willpower and positive thinking and hope, because hope is not a strategy to close a sale. And I started paying more attention, much closer attention to what I discovered in each deal about each prospect. Early on, from the first interaction with the qualifying, asking the high gain questions, because people will tell you the truth if you ask them, and if we're listening and willing to hear it. So last week, my intuition flared up again. I happened to be at a local city council meeting in the small community that I lived in. And there was an announcement that was going on if they were going to vote for banning fireworks. As you do know, recently we just celebrated our 4th of July. And because of what was going on, they wanted to ban the fireworks, even simple little sparklers and stuff. So naturally, when I heard about this, I instantly knew that the ban was likely to pass. So my intuition was telling me this. My brain was telling me that because I've seen many committee type discussions before in business and also local government. I said that, you know what, let me go show up and give my 2 cents, because in civics, this is what you're allowed to do when you're a member of a community. So, regardless of what my intuition was telling me, I went to the city council meeting. I spoke hard heartedly about why the band needs to make sure that our youngsters can appreciate America's Independence Day with fireworks. And I had hoped for a lot more people being there, but you go to your next local city council meeting and see how many people show up. And not that many people were there, and that's a sad thing. But that's another story. Yes, I didn't agree with my intuition, but I did so because I was speaking from something from my heart. Now, here's the thing, I deviate back. When we're selling products, when you're selling services, we know our product. If we did our investigation needs assessment right, Selling isn't missionary work. Now, I'm talking to the people that have key accounts, major accounts up and down the street, in the home. You do a lot to get to the decision maker or decision makers when you're selling. So you need to trust your own intuition, because I got around to get to this person. I asked them some high gain questions. I've invested a month, 2 months, whatever it may be with that. But we need to trust ourselves, because when you don't trust your intuition, you'll find yourself pushing people to buy yourself. And when you push people to buy, you're not in a good situation. If we listen to their needs, wants, and desires, now we walk them through the process hand in hand, because the more they feel comfortable that you care about their needs, wants, and desires, and you offered a good product presentation solution and a demonstration, you're usually going to win out. So you want people to want what you're selling. You want people to buy from you because you showed value by putting all of this together. Find out what people want. Listen to their truth. So spend your precious sales time on the people who want and are more likely to buy from you, and you'll start closing the majority of your deals. A 50% closing rate is better in total if you just follow this one tip that I just gave you alone. Now, you may say, well, what happened to the meeting? Well, the board did not go for it. They banned it anyway. So my intuition told me it was going to happen, but my heart said, let me go out here and just try. So for those folks that are getting prepared and going out to hit it, remember, you have the intuition. When you're engaged with that decision maker, make sure that you are listening and asking high gain questions. And please, at the end of your 10, 15, 20-minute Q&A, back and forth, investigation, needs assessment, qualifying, whatever you define it as, what most salespeople do not do is recap. Recap. Let me make sure I'm having a good day. Let me see if I got everything that you said that you wanted done. By doing this, you accomplish two things. Customer on the other side of the desk, the decision maker, knows that you were listening. And the second thing, you want to make sure whatever you're going to bring up as a solution, you want to make sure it hits every area that's out there. So if some of this makes sense, Brad and Hardison, as always, in party. We'll check you out tomorrow morning. Going out there and make it a champion.